Today, we're diving into the absolutely extraordinary life and legacy of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, a spiritual leader and social reformer whose impact, starting in 19th century India, is still felt all over the world.
I mean, just think about that for a second. An 11-year-old. What could possibly motivate a child to do something so extreme? This wasn't just a trip. It was a spiritual odyssey that would shape a young boy into one of history's most revered leaders. So let's rewind and see where this all started.
Okay, so everything kicks off with a young boy named Ghanshyam Pandey. And even from his earliest days, it was pretty obvious to everyone around him that his life was going to be anything but ordinary.
So he was born way back in 1781 to his parents, Dharmadev and Bhakti Mata. And right from the get-go, he was different. He had this deep spiritual curiosity. But here's the amazing part. He wasn't just reading the ancient scriptures, he mastered them. We're talking about a level of understanding that was just, well, it was unheard of for a child his age.
And then, everything changes. After his parents passed away at just 11 years old, Ghanshyam makes this monumental decision. He renounces everything he's ever known, his home, his friends, his village, and just walks away, all on his own, to begin a search for ultimate truth.
So, what comes next is this period of just unbelievable hardship, but also incredible transformation. He takes on a new name, Neelkanth Varni, and begins a journey that's honestly hard for us to even imagine today.
I mean, the sheer scale of this journey is just mind-boggling. For 7 years, he walked barefoot across the entire Indian subcontinent. We're talking from the freezing cold Himalayas all the way to Jagannath Puri on the east coast, then down to the southernmost tip of India at Rameshwaram, before finally, after 7 long years, arriving in Gujarat. It was an epic, grueling journey of self-discovery and spiritual discipline.
Okay, so after 7 years on the road, he arrives in Gujarat, and this is where the story takes a huge turn. The chapter of Neelkanth Varni, the lone wanderer, is about to close, and a new one is about to begin, as the leader of a vibrant and growing spiritual community.
Now, before we go any further, there's a word you gotta know, sampradaya. It basically means a spiritual tradition or a lineage passed down from a guru. And Neelkanth Varni was about to find the one he was destined to lead.
So his search leads him to a guru named Ramanand Swami. He's initiated into the fellowship and given yet another name, Sahajanand Swami. But here's the thing. His wisdom was so profound that his own guru appointed him as the next leader. And get this, at only 21 years old, Sahajanand Swami takes the reins. He would eventually grow this fellowship into the Swaminarayan Sampradaya, and it's here that he introduces the powerful Swaminarayan mantra.
So now he's a leader, and that comes with a ton of responsibility. But his vision was about so much more than just spiritual matters. He was determined to lay out a practical blueprint for a better, more moral, and more just society. To do this, he gave his followers 2 foundational scriptures. Think of them like this. The Shikshapatri is the how-to guide. It's a clear 212-verse code of conduct for how to live a good, moral life day to day. Then you have the Vachanamrut, and that's the why. It's a collection of his talks and discourses that dive deep into the philosophy behind it all. Together, they create this complete spiritual toolkit. And look, this wasn't just some abstract philosophy. This had real revolutionary impact on the world around him. He took on the biggest social problems of his day head-on. He condemned horrific practices against women like sati and female infanticide, and instead he championed education for women. I mean, think about it. In the early 1800s, this was radical stuff. He also put a stop to animal sacrifices, and in a society completely divided by the caste system, he threw the doors open, welcoming followers from every single walk of life, teaching that everyone was spiritually equal.
But his vision didn't stop with just words on a page or social changes. He knew that for his teachings to last for generations to come, they needed a physical home. They needed a tangible legacy.
So, in his own lifetime, he personally oversaw the building of 6 magnificent temples all across Gujarat. These weren't just monuments. They were designed from the ground up to be the beating hearts of the community, places for people to gather, to worship, and to learn together.
Yeah, 6. Let that sink in for a second. These weren't little chapels. We're talking grand, intricate temples, all built in the early 1800s. It was just a monumental effort that laid the physical groundwork for what was about to become a global spiritual network.
So even after he passed away in 1830, the movement he started didn't slow down. In fact, it exploded. Today, the Swaminarayan Sampradaya is a huge worldwide organization, And a perfect example of this is a prominent branch called BAPS, which continues that temple-building legacy with these breathtaking modern masterpieces, like the Akshardham temples in New Delhi and, right here in the U.S., in Robbinsville, New Jersey.
And all of this really gets to the heart of the belief system here. To understand the devotion that fuels this global community, you have to know this. For his followers, Bhagwan Swaminarayan isn't just a great teacher or a reformer. He is, quite literally, revered as the supreme manifestation of God on earth, or Parabrahman.
Which brings us right back to this one final, powerful question. How does the story of one boy's journey, a journey that started over 200 years ago, still resonate so deeply with millions of people all over the planet? It's really an incredible testament to how one life, dedicated completely to spiritual truth and the good of society, can create a legacy that truly echoes through the ages. What a remarkable story.